I got my first set of decks at 12 years old, and I was a complete drum and bass fiend, and I spent every weekend at Black Market Records in Soho, you know what I mean, getting all the white label records, going back, you know, and then having a smoke with my mates and listening to drum and bass.
Fast forward, you and Joe, you got this guitar.
Got given his guitar by a prison officer. His name's Ben Moss. I'll name him because the guy's an angel and he saved my life. You know, he's
Ben Moss.
certainly something that helped. So he gave me a guitar. Within a week, I'd written. He showed me 3 chords. Within a week, I'd written a song. Within a year, I'd written like 100. And he really nurtured and nourished that. He saw this gift in this feral kid, or whatever it is you want to call it, you know. So through doing that, you know, I then came out, I met Clinton in there, King Aggie, and we was doing some music, and he introduced me to Bristol, and then I ended up in Bristol doing some music, doing him. That's when I met you.
That's so good, under surveillance, and it's sick, and it's actually really heavy, and
This is the Wordlife show on Ujima Radio.
Bruh, honestly, bruh. I usually start off like mad, but you're gonna get a bruh. Bruh. Hey, I'm speechless, man. Like this. Should I just play this song throughout the interview instead?
If that's
we don't have to say enough in this. Bro, that's
the audience
so
the same way.
Professional. Like that is so professional. That song there, yeah. It sounds like a lot of bands, which I won't name, and I'm not saying you're mimicking it anyway, but based on professionality and quality of the song structure.
Of the song as well. Like it's got all of the parts. It's funny you say that because you know the label and the producers working with that song when we was doing it. Obviously, when I wrote all my stuff on acoustic guitar and on piano. So when I sent them the demo of me just singing it on the guitar, they loved that one the most because it's got your standard structure basically, which is verse, bridge, chorus, middle eight,
also there's melodies,
middle
it's
got a bit of that going on.
It's a good song if you're going to still be singing it in 3 days time.
Well,
you don't even know why.
Earworms, this is what we're trying to create, right?
Bruv, you've literally just laid them in my ears. I don't know if that's some alien stuff, but now on a real look, for anyone who's just tuned in, I got the incredible, the amazing, the super talented Billy Holmes. If you're watching this on the Wordlife YouTube channel, well, you've got Billy Holmes as well. But you know, bro, like banger after banger, great, fantastic music, man. Like honestly, it's an honour to have you in.
Yeah, thanks. Likewise, it's really an honour to be here also, mate.
Come on, my bro. It's been a long time coming, and we have definitely talked about doing this for a minute.
I know, yeah.
But life gets in the way sometimes and stuff. And I know that you were out living in mountains and all doing some madness and stuff that. Yep. So I want to touch on that first.
Yeah.
But like I like to do to introduce you to my audience and stuff like that, and to the video audience as well.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a history lesson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'm not going to completely do the whole you were born and now you're here and what happened in between kind of thing that I usually do. But the first time I met you was kind of interesting, right?
It was indeed.
So I used to do a lot of music with King Aggie and stuff like that, and he and yourself. Well, do you want? Yeah, absolutely.
So the first time we met I was with King. You know, I became friends with you know, as I knew him as Clinton, but King Aggie in a prison basically. That was where we met. So just to give the audience a bit of a background to the story, you know, and just frame where my music comes from. Essentially, younger, misspent adolescence. You know, getting into trouble, petty stuff, this, that, and the other. Anyway, all of that misspent.
I also want to confirm I know it's charging. It's not long. It's not over. Man's out here doing. Well, this
is a long time ago now. I'm a different man, right? I've been out for 10 years, and you know, God willing, I will be out for the rest of my life. And you know,
changed man.
So here I am, you know, step by step. But so where was I?
So now, what I wanted to focus on, and let me just bring it to this part, was basically what you were saying about rehabilitation to me that we said earlier on.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is it. So like, you know, ended up finding myself in a prison cell basically, and was going down the rabbit hole in that life, and then through a sequence of events throughout that sentence, it led me to a specific prison where I was greeted with a guitar. Basically, I've been through a lot throughout the time in prison, as you can imagine. I was a young kid. I was like 21 years old and was struggling in there, you know, so whatever. And then,
but you understood like rap music before, you got the structure of stuff.
I got my first set of decks at 12 years old, and I was a complete drum and bass fiend, and I spent every weekend at Black Market Records in Soho, you know what I mean, getting all the white label records, going back, you know, and then having a smoke with my mates and listening to drum and bass.
Fast forward, you and Joe, you got this guitar.
Got given his guitar by a prison officer. His name's Ben Moss. I'll name him because the guy's an angel and he saved my life. You know, he's
Ben Moss.
certainly something that helped. So he gave me a guitar. Within a week, I'd written. He showed me 3 chords. Within a week, I'd written a song. Within a year, I'd written like 100. And he really nurtured and nourished that. He saw this gift in this feral kid, or whatever it is you want to call it, gift and a curse at the same time. He saw this and he nurtured it, and he nourished it, and he used that. He allowed me to show me a way where I could use it to basically get what was in my head and my heart out, and vent it and channel it. So through doing that, I then came out. Well, I met Clinton in there, King Aggie, and we was doing some music, and he introduced me to Bristol, and then I ended up in Bristol doing some music, doing him. That's when I met you.
That's so good under surveillance, and it's sick, and it's actually really heavy, and amazing song. I've still got on my queue. I should have put that out. I'll play it on the show sometime soon. I make sure it's remastered or whatever, because I know it was a while ago or whatever. But now, honestly, incredible talent. I knew then that there was a reason that I brought you in and said, like, this guy gets music differently, you know what I mean? Now fast forward on many moons, you've developed
so I went out and travelled around the world. I came out of prison. I had to go and spread my wings, so I've done a lot of travelling. I spent a lot of time travelling around the world and just really living out the time that I'd missed, and becoming inspired. And then I ended up finding my way to the mountains in Andalusia called the Alpujarra, and I was
let's go back, sorry, where?
The Andalusia, the Alpujarra mountains. So
whereabouts?
Southwest Spain. It's a coast of Southwest Spain.
Okay.
Andalusia is a magical mountain. It's a magical region of Spain that runs down the southwest coast.
Amazing.
The Costa de Tropical.
Yeah, hey, it sounds awesome, bro. But there's the way he says it. Sounds even more magical, man.
Well, I do a good Spanish accent. Unfortunately, I didn't learn the language. I was there for 2 years, so I probably should have. But at least I can sound. To be fair,
you sound like a lot of people in Spain at the moment. Let's be real.
I was literally walking through the mountains, and I got introduced to this tiny little village up in the mountains. You wouldn't, unless you knew it was there, you wouldn't find it, basically.
No, okay.
And there's official population, I think, of 21 at the time.
Jeez.
Anyway, so we're there, and there's these musicians playing in the plaza. They're all built by the Moors, these villages. They're like 1,000-year-old, south facing in the mountains, like spectacular, super rich history. And anyway, these guys are playing music in the plaza, and so I sit down, we start having a bit of a jam and this, that and the other, and it's all like lovely. We start bringing out food, a couple of beers, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's kind of this. So it's this guy, Thomas Branu, who ended up as one of my producers. He's an amazingly talented gentleman. Sort of opened the door, and in there's like a full recording studio with Grammy Awards on the wall. Then you've got this other guy, Kello, owns 1G Records. He's got platinum discs all over his walls. And I'm like, okay, so who the bleep are you lot? You know what I mean?
Stumbled or something.
I think, what is this? So maybe I found my school, do you know what I mean? So I ended up, I was like, is there somewhere I can rent here? So I ended up renting a little place.
Amazing.
And then next thing you know, 20 months later, we come out, and throughout the process as well, also worked with another producer called Attila Kulsa, who's based over in Budapest in Hungary. And between the three of us, we put the album together. Obviously I wrote and composed everything, and then and then we have Attila and Tamas, who are like maestro producers.
I was going to say, could you play instruments yourself as well? So
I play guitar and piano.
So was there certain roles they took amongst that, or was it just overall production, studio engineering?
So all of the other instruments, like your lead guitar by Tibor Pulius, the bass player's name I can't actually for the life of me, and I'm sorry if you're listening, I can't remember his name, but Attila will tell you. But so the rest of them were session musicians, because at the time I didn't have a band, you see, because I just went over there with an acoustic guitar. Didn't really have an intention to write an album or do anything, and I was just acoustic, whatever, just getting, it was on my diary of my life, and it was my vent and my channel. So it was my counselor, it was my therapy, so anyway, through meeting these guys, things changed, and it was like, now we're starting to look at it like, well, maybe there is something here, and like I say, and now we've sort of created this.
It's incredible, he's really good,
and maybe there's something. So now we've got this product that we spent this time doing, and now I have an awesome band as well that we've put together. So basically my objective is, at the moment, is I'm looking for booking agents and management or whatever, I need to get some gigs booked to get my band together, because they're all professional musicians, so they're busy, so we need to get them together and get a string of gigs together that we can get out and actually start taking this out there.
Honestly, you spent your time in the mountains.
Exactly.
You got the music's done, you've done cooked, the people need to eat the soul food you got. Honestly, the music's fantastic.
Thank you,
it's
mate.
super well produced. It's your singing is incredible, your guitar skills alone are incredible. I'm guessing I heard your piano skills on there, but I've not heard that today. We didn't manage to get a piano in the studio, but we are going to do a live acoustic set after. We're going to do some adverts, and then we're going to have you playing live in the studio, so you lot listening or watching are in for a treat. It's mad. But right, so the album's out.
So my album is out now. My album is called Free as a Bird.
Yes.
It's on all of the streaming platforms. So go check that out. Obviously, I'm on all of the social media platforms under Billy Holmes Music. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. But like I say, the album is called Free as a Bird. It's out now.
Yeah. I think
go and
Free as a
listen
Bird's
to
very
it.
fitting considering and everything like that.
This is the whole point, right? Because basically the album is a snapshot and is a story of my life of that time when essentially I found myself incarcerated and having to come back to not only being liberated in the free sense of terms of leaving prison, but you know, me, my soul, my spirit, whatever it is you want to call it, of being in and out of trouble from a young age and then reaching a space where I understood that no longer serves me and I have to change my life. And a big part of my mission now is to help the younger generations, you know, because I know it's cliched, but if I can help one kid not have to go through what I went through, then all of everything I went through was worth it. Everything, the whole picture.
If you had that one kid in front of you, what would you advise him?
Well, I mean, it would depend, wouldn't it? Because obviously it depends.
If that one kid was you, a younger version of you,
a younger version of me,
just about to get nicked.
Oh, I mean, it's very tricky, right? Because there's not one thing you can say. There was nothing anybody could have said to me, but I think the impact when I started to listen, when I was around people that had been through the stuff that I was going into, so I don't know whether there's necessarily one thing or a word, a pearl of wisdom that I could pluck out that's going to change this kid's life. But what I could do is help mentor and guide him, show him the things that happened to me, show him the things that show him the circumstances that led to those things, and maybe that would allow him to learn for himself how not to steer in that direction.
So what you're saying is there isn't just a one-trick rule.
Absolutely
there's not a blanket rule. It takes care, TLC, and effort, and work with the younger people.
It takes work with the younger people, and this is where we're obliged, you know, as peers, as elder peers to these youngers that have been through this stuff to help them guide them. Exactly, but you know, this is it, because obviously we become the guides, right? You know what I mean? We become the guides, and I think it's important, if you've been through stuff, if you're able to, you know, articulate anything in any way, shape or form, and go ahead and support, then I feel like it's your duty to. So like I say, that's going to be a big part of my mission. There's a few more things to iron out in my own life first before I feel like, you know, I'm particularly completely credible in that sense.
I get that,
but step by step, I'm on my journey, you know.
I think we're all our own worst critics to that certain extent.
Of course we are,
and the fact is, if you can teach it, somebody else can accept it and learn it, you know.
That's
and
the
I think that's it, bro. You're an incredible artist, an incredible teacher for anyone that they could absorb it, you know what I mean? Right, before we go into some adverts, is there anything I'm missing off? Anything you want people to know? Quick time?
I don't think so. Again, my album's out, Free as a Bird, all streaming platforms. Pick me up on the social media platforms at Billy Holmes Music. Any agents or booking agents want to book me, it's billyholmesmusic@gmail.com. Again, billyholmesmusic@gmail.com. Book us for some gigs. I'll bring the band and we'll try and blow your socks off.
And you will have your socks fully blown off. They're honestly, bring extra socks. Right, my bro, we're going to go into the commercial breaks. Stick around on the other side. It's going to be incredible. I'm warning you. Let's go.
Spun, beat me that can run. EMC's for fun, must be dumb. I will spin a man easy, set man home like E.T. Krazy, don't think that you won't get done. You can push us home, mum. You ain't what I call a threat. You get spun like clothes in the laundry.
I'll spin a man quick like Fury, I'll rock a man. I'll spin man like Hazard did Coquelin. I'll spin man like Spyro, make man Lilo. Spin man with a ballpoint or a biro. Spin a man's head top like